to Easy Keys. This is lesson 4 of series 2 of my beginner piano and notation lessons. Please check out series 1 as well as lessons 1, 2 and 3 of series 2 if you missed them. Now in the last lesson we learned the D major scale with the octave fingering in both the left and right hands. The D scale has two sharps, remember, F sharp and C sharp. And then to find out which scale comes next after D major with two black notes, we counted up 5 notes from D. So remember, let's go right back to C actually. So we started with C, 5 notes up was the G scale, there's G, and then 5 notes up from G we got to the D scale. So here's D, 5 notes up from D is A. So the scale we're going to do today is A major. Now in the A major scale we have 3 sharps. So the F sharp from G major plus the C sharp from D major, and now we add in G sharp. So the A major scale sounds like this. Again. The A major has 3 sharps. Left hand. Again. And then together. Practice this A major scale every day by playing each hand separately to start with. Once you've mastered the fingering with each hand, then try and play both hands at the same time. Remember, if you can't manage them together in the beginning, don't stress. Just make sure you practice all the scales daily. So that's now C, G, D and A that we learned today. And the fingering will eventually become second nature. So make sure that you make every note sound the same, just like in series 1. You don't want to rely on momentum to play each note, because you need to learn to isolate each note as you play. They must all sound the same. And also, no aerials. What I mean by that, let's hope I can do it. I can't. You see how my finger's going up? Often with a beginner, the one finger will go up. So we're not drinking tea, no pinkies in the air. All of them must be relaxed. So now on to notation. Okay, so in the last lesson we learnt about dotted minims. Remember, they look like minims, just with a dot to the right of the note. So that's your minim. Remember, it had a dot to the right. And the dot always counts for half of the note preceding it. So for a minim, which is 2 counts, the dot counts for 1 count, making a total of 3 counts. So that's a dotted minim. Today I want to show you that you also get dotted semi-breves and dotted crotchets. But if I say for now, please don't freak out. Yes, there's always more to learn in notation, but we're not going to cover other dotted notes here. So if a semi-breve is held for 4 counts, a dotted semi-breve will count for 6, and that's because the semi-breve is 4 and the dot is half of the preceding note, which is 2. So those two together is 6. Okay, and then with the crotchet, if we want to make that a dotted crotchet, remember a crotchet counts for 1, so the dot counts for half of the preceding note, so that's a half. So a dotted crotchet counts for 1 1/2. I will help you count this out in one of the exercises at the end of this lesson. Please remember that you can also download all the exercises from every lesson from the link in the description below. The next note I want to show you how to write on the treble stave is the G sharp, which we've learned now today with the A major scale. So remember your key signature. We started with an F sharp for G major scale, and then we did a C sharp added for the D major scale, and now we have a G sharp added for the A major scale. So remember, if you've got E in the space, F is the top line, the space above the top line is G, so that's why the sharp sign goes there. Then in your bass clef, we started with F sharp for your G major scale, C sharp for D major scale, and then your G sharp today for the A major scale. So I want to show you how to write a G as a G sharp. So we've got a G here, and we've also got a G up here. Remember, that's where we just put the sharp sign. So if I was to make this G a sharp, but I didn't want that G to be a sharp, I'll cancel that with a natural sign, which means only that G is a G sharp. Lastly, I'd like to show you where the B note is written on the treble stave. Remember, we'd got up to A before. So the B is written on that middle line of the stave. Remember, there's boy. Every good boy deserves Fanta. It's the middle line. So the B is actually the change in terms of which direction the stem goes. Before I told you that the stems must actually all go up into the stave and down in the bass clef. But now that you're getting further along, I want to show you that the B is actually the changer. So you can either have the stem going down or up, depending on which notes come before it or after it. So we have a B note here. If I had other notes coming after it, they would also go down with the stem. If I had notes coming down to the A, then the stems go up. So all your stems are actually compressed into the stave. So the same principle applies in the bass clef, but the middle line in the bass clef is D, not B as it is there. So good boys deserve Fanta always, the middle line is D. So if I had a D here, I can decide whether I want it to go up or down with the stem, depending on which notes come before it or after it. So the notes coming after it, if they're going down, I would put the stems going up. And any notes before it, if I had notes there, I would make the stems come down. So that's your deciding note. See how all the stems are compressed into the stave. Good, so now we can play music with the notes from F in the bass clef. Remember, this is your F here. Up to the B in the treble clef, which you learned today. This is exercise in A, which is in A major. There are no dotted minims, dotted crotchets, or dotted semibreves in this exercise. That's pretty straightforward. Do you know the Muffin Man is in D major? I'm a Little Teapot has a dotted crotchet in the second to last bar. So what I want to explain here is you see the A is a dotted crochet. So that counts for 1.5. So you've got the crochet for 1, the dot for half. And then we have a quaver directly after it, which counts for half a beat. So the A, the dotted crochet, and the quaver on the F sharp count for 2 beats. So 1.5 plus the half gets to 2 beats. But I'll count this one through for you. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's all for today. See you in the next lesson, and yes, you guessed it, don't forget to practice. Please like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. I'd love to know how you're getting on.